So if I do this kind of stuff, this is no longer mobile. So if he sits in the stance here like that, and he knows how much I move around, if I start circling to the side here, boom, there it is. And they show that too. They show the hand trap the blade and knock it aside. When he's fighting me, he does not go in a back way stance ever. So again, now tell us, now give me your opinion.
Giganti seems to be backweighted. So Giganti, who uses, I'd say, a longer, thinner blade, it can cut because he has a whole section on cutting, but it's primarily a thrusting tool. Seems to be backweighted. Not. You see guys do this. Not like I can't even do it like they do. You know, they'll go way back, right? But then you got nothing. But Giganti's is going to be. There's still weight on the foot. It's not nothing. But you're here like this because if you have all the way back here and he closes with me.
Hi.
So it's this. That foot's straight. Let's hit like this. I want to be from here. See that? And the whole reason why I need a little bit light, I don't have it even, I have it a little bit light, is so that when I do the lunge, can you get your sword up for me? Is when I do the lunge, and you need that foot to move fast, I want to power off that back foot. I gotta make sure I gain it. I want to make sure I go. And it needs to be all together. That needs to be all together. There we go. It needs to be all together like that.
That can be done without the back weight though.
Right. So this is, and I look at the pictures and I'm like, it looks mostly back weight. And then you're 50-50. I'm
approximately 50-50. I shift weight, so I can shift back and forth very lightly, but for the most part, I'm 50-50, so I can move around. So I'm here like that. Now, for me to get that lunge position, all I have to do is pivot the back foot this way, and there it is. So once I pivoted, that pivot is what powers my thrust. So it's a much more subtle motion. If I see this coming for me, this is a big motion. If I see this coming for me, he comes forward. I'm back up. This is not where he wants to be. Look at this too. I can see. Look at my back weight. I'm now back weighted. This is here. What do you think my next part's going to be? Or I shift. That's what that leaning stands for. So my opinion on the back weight is actually a lean. It leans to gain just a bit more measure, so I can lean forward again and thrust. I don't even have to step at that point. I just lean forward.
Let's stand side by side so you can kind of see. So both face that way. So I think this, right? And this is this. Most of my weight's here, but it's not all. Because some guys go, I can't do it. Some guys go way, way away. So it's about there. And then his is.
So if I have to do this, I have to very slightly. Very slightly. If I had to go all the way back, I could, but most likely I'm just like that. And it usually comes after a step. So if I push back and I need just a bit more room, I might lean and then forward.
But if we were Fabris, we would be even weirder.
But we don't do Fabris because that's weak.
I don't think it's weak.
That's the weakest style Fabris.
So what about those really odd postures that you see in Capo Ferro when it's like all the way lean forward?
This. Ooh, you're talking about, I think he's talking about Sassoto, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I would fake him out. I can actually do this too. So from here, I would push forward and try to get him to move his guard up. So if I throw it this way, here like this, I want him to bring his sword up. So I fire this way, and this disengages. And from here, I come underneath.
Where his hand is.
Oh, okay.
All right. Now you're like, but you can hit him in the head. Yeah. Yeah, I can.
Now I'm being
full commitment.
Now I'm being nice to him. So I'll show you where it would be in a martial context now. Now I've shown you just with my friend. I'm going to actually intentionally miss him. So from here, this comes underneath, here, and then if I'm going to come down, right there.
And this thing's not a lightsaber, so as the sword goes through my throat, right? So like the Pasado sword is one of the, I call stunt maneuvers. They're really, really cool.
Very hard to do in cargo pants.
Yeah. Also, you better do it right, because recovery from it's not the coolest.
But it don't recover. Not from a guy like this skill level.
Yeah, because they'll do stuff to you. And this one here, it's another like kind of cool maneuver. Is I'm engaged on this side like this, right? I want my chest to face him. Normally you don't. You want to be a little bit profile. Because what I want to do is I want him to go for here. I want that. So what I do is watch what my back foot does. So yeah, it looks really cool when you pull it off right. So if you pull it off wrong, you get ganked. So you're up here like that. So what you're doing is you've created this target. You're actually not going to fight him. I want him to come in. My sword stays in what we call fourth, right? There's a couple ways to do it according to Giganti. Back foot rotates, hands out here, lean in.
Just as I thrust.
And it looks cool when you do it right. When you do it wrong, it looks like shit. is not good because if you miss, your back's to him or whatever, or you're too slow.
There's lots of variants to it. There's actually one that's showing with the back toward.
Agrippa, I think.
Agrippa. It's showing like this.
Now Agrippa's an older guy.
Like-
yeah. And now, which is funny is later people commented on it. They're like, hey, I don't know if they called him out by name, but they're like, when you do it, make sure you face the opponent.
Yeah.
Because you're like, hey, that's a bit wrong.
It's super arrogant.
Yeah.
I have done it in one tournament.
Okay.
It's didn't make my opponent very happy. It's pretty insulting, but you know.
It happens, and I've done it because I over-torqued, right?
Yeah.
Because what I want to do is, I want him to come in, right, pretty, everybody applauds.
Especially when he has a game too. Yeah.
Everybody applauds, blah, blah, blah. But if it's fast and it's panicky,
Yeah.
and he'll come in, right? And that's,
Less applause, but it still does
yeah,
the job.
because one of the things is like, you know, we practice and train, we drill and we train, but like when you fight an opponent that's really trying to stop you, things don't always go according to plan. So you just kind of modify the best that you can, and it's just part of the game.